of Sciences was established based on the need for science. So in 1863, Abraham Lincoln decided that we need a group of scientists to tell the country in an objective and trustworthy way what are the answers to questions that society is asking. Of the questions that the public is asking these days, one of them is the question, does quality early education benefit children's lifelong success? There is strong evidence that it not only benefits children in the short term, but if you follow them way out into their lives, beyond high school, to their lives as early adults, you see the benefits of early education. And that is a phenomenal response to come from the agency that answers questions about space and about COVID and about cyber attacks and all of the issues that matter to our safety and our success as a nation.
If you actually ask a teacher in kindergarten or first grade about preschool, they say, on day one, I can tell who has been in preschool and who has not. And the ones who have been in preschool are so much better prepared.
You have to invest in that entire continuum of learning from about 7 weeks, but you're going to see so much better outcomes for these children.
This is where the stage is set for 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. It sets them up to know what cozy can be, what love can be, what relationships with adults can be, what relationships with peers can be. It helps them set standards for themselves, and that sets your life up for lifelong learning.
Hi, my name is Delia Hasbury, and my son is in a first-class pre-K classroom here in Montgomery, Alabama at the Bell Road YMCA. It's a great experience. They have great teachers, monitors. It's a great system.
When our children come into pre-K, we have almost 60, well, sometimes 90%, depending on the domain, that are not performing at what the widely held expectations are for a 4-year-old. Then by the end of pre-K, we have 90% in literacy that are performing. We have those that are affluent, and we have those in poverty, and now that child in poverty is going into kindergarten at the same level as that affluent child, and that's closing the gap.
His social skills have really expanded, and that's been a good thing too. You know, just being able to meet different people and just have different type of conversations. The maturity is crazy to me. It's been a big difference from last year to this year.
I really have seen him just flourish from start to now.
As the Academy recognizes the importance of early education, they're also recognizing that the most disadvantaged families are, in fact, in the United States, the least likely to have the opportunity for early education. And so the Academy is reminding citizens of the country that equity matters and that any solutions have to take into account all of our children.
The importance of the early years hasn't changed at all. What's changed is the world.
To climb that economic ladder often requires both parents in the workforce.
To my mind, closing the preschool gap is going to be one of the smartest public investments that we can make to reduce inequality, to equalize opportunity going forward.
Now we've discovered a secret sauce, something that if we do it right, will help us be successful in every other way. But this is the key.
Revitalizing early education and making strategic investments in education more broadly can be a real key to restoring the American dream.
The jobs of the future require creative, innovative children who are willing to entertain different ideas and work to a joint solution and work internationally. Across the world, many countries are making these investments in early childhood education. And so if the United States doesn't do it, we will fall behind.
No matter where you sit politically or economically in this country, the solution for moving our country forward into the 21st century is early childhood education.
The digital world of the future is going to depend on the educated workforce of America.
This is where little chemists are made, little doctors are made, teachers.
I'll be a cowboy. I want to be a princess. When I grow up, I want to be an artist. I want to be a train driver. I want to be a doctor, a vet, and mom, and a teacher. I want a happy, good future for the world.
What it's about is giving a young child the tools and the skills that they'll need, not just for kindergarten, but throughout their entire life.
We're a global society. We use technology for everything. We have to figure out how we can bring everybody at the same pace. If we're not preparing children to be part of this workforce in the future, generations of folks are going to be left behind.
Now is the time to have a very strong, successful launch and expansion of early childhood education.
The old method of education in which all the chairs are facing forward and no one talks except the teacher, that's gone. The new social classroom is, of course, very exploratory, very almost circular, where children are always collaborating and always working in groups and with one another. The brain science underscores how much learning socially matters, learning together. And so it takes the approach that, while it's called early education, some people think of it as early play and exploration of the natural world with one another.
I think a misnomer about preschool programs are that they're trying to get the ABCs and multiplication tables, and it's not about that at all.
If you go into a really successful daycare, it doesn't look like a classroom. Children are on the floor. They're playing games. They're working in small groups, learning a language and skills.
You will see children that are happy, children that are laughing, teachers that are intentional in their communication, talking, singing to the children, and really helping to create a love of learning.
You don't sit children down and ask, do you know your letters? You play a game and you learn those.
Pretend play, social play, play with objects, plays with toys, as a means of supporting their engagement in the classroom and as a means of supporting their interactions with their peers in the classroom.
They think they're playing, but what they're actually doing is learning.
We do a game. We play displays. I build a tower and a house. All kinds of houses and towers. We sit down, get a job. Every day I pick the holder. My favorite job is chair helper. My favorite job is picking jobs. We play together in class, then we eat snack together, then we hug together.
The National Academy answers the question, does quality early education lead to more successful lives as adults? So that's a question that's been posed many times by the public. Does it really matter? And the answer is yes, across all studies.
We're able to say for sure that our results are lasting. The children outperform their peers in third grade. We know it's because of quality.
We learned from the experience of other states. We started with what we knew worked based on the research.
Through collaboration from grade to grade, we will ensure that a child's learning builds upon the foundation that's been laid in pre-K, then into kindergarten, and then beyond. By creating collaboration between grades, we will meet students where they are in the progression of learning.
We were excited to receive the highest ranking in the nation for our pre-K program. And we've tried really hard to maintain that ranking, to maintain that quality. And we want to be number one.
And when you change the child's future, they're going to be able to change the future of the state in the long run because they're going to be able to be productive, engaged citizens for the state in the future.
Part of the pre-K story in Alabama is that leadership matters. Secretary Ross knew that accountability and quality, that excellence had to be the primary focus of first-class pre-K. And that is one of the reasons why this program is so supported across the board by legislators, by governors, through gubernatorial transitions where it's very, very difficult for one governor's priority to become the priority of the next governor.
We definitely want to share. We want to make sure that Alabama's legacy is one that helps the rest of the United States move further forward in their own early childhood practices.
I think the key findings are 20 years of behavioral research looking at interventions that involve early education and then following children over the years. And then in the last decade, I think the clincher has been brain studies. What the report says is not just anyone is an adequate teacher of our young children, that it takes a professional approach. It takes an education in early learning, in the brain, in early childhood development. And so it underscores the need to professionalize early childhood development education.
Prettiest classrooms are not necessarily the best classrooms. It's really not the pan, it's the chef that makes things happen. That's why I keep going back to having excellent teachers in every classroom.
I think it's very important for the teacher to feel valued as a professional. Those high-quality teachers are very important to what we expect out of the classroom, the quality of the classroom. Having that responsive and sensitive teacher is key to the success of the program. We have requirements for credentialing in our programs. Every teacher must have a bachelor's degree in early childhood education or child development or early education in special ed. To understand the development of a child is key.
The department's been very instrumental in getting the college and universities to change their teacher education curriculum for it to be best for early learning. And that took a lot of leadership for this department to step up, for post-secondary to step up and say, it's a give and take. We're going to have to make changes to have a qualified teacher workforce to meet the demand of high-quality pre-K teachers.
One of the very big things that we did to make pre-K important is that we provided pay parity for those pre-K teachers. So pre-K teacher makes exactly what a teacher in K-12 makes. In providing that salary, that teacher is a professional. She wants to stay in that classroom, and it's really increased our quality.
It's going to take resources. It's going to take a public-private partnership. It's going to take government leadership and the decision on our parts that if we invest in children, which is what we should do, we're not only helping them, those children and their families, but our country and our future.
This is an American issue if there's ever been one. If we want to be successful, the most important single thing we can learn and do is early childhood education.
This is a nonpartisan issue, and governors all agree that if we're going to promote economic development in our particular states, we need to focus and invest in early childhood education.
This topic of early childhood just seems to be the one piece of education that governors are really starting to turn their attention to for a whole host of reasons, from wanting to improve their economy, wanting to improve the outcomes of their education system, and also have these supports in place for families. They understand the research, they understand the importance, and now it's really rolling up the sleeves and doing the work and moving it from the discussion stage or talk into action.
This is America's pathway to international success in the future in the digital age. If we don't do this job properly, we're going to be behind the rest of the world.
As a governor, I think that the most important legacy that we can leave isn't for today, but it's for the future. When it's no longer my priority, but it's a community's priority, when it's a school district's priority, when it's parents' priority, that's what keeps it sustainable. What we've seen in Montana, what they've seen in Alabama, what they've seen in these other states, is that success begets success. And once folks see what a difference it can make for the child and the community, that's what'll sustain it. Once you're there on the ground, you know that it's an investment that we can't afford not to be making.